All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Catholic D&D campaign, The Belly of the Forest. This is our final session, so I hope you all have enjoyed the story thus far, and we're going to dig into some epilogue stuff as we draw the story to a close, and as the Motley Crew's adventures come to an end here. The party will be disbanding shortly. But when last we left off, there was a very gruesome battle between the party and an undead wizard known as the Revenancer. Both Niko and Kyle died, but Granny was able to bring them back to life, and they did manage to save all three victims of the Revenancer's um, ritual. There, I was blanking on the word.
Wait.
Ritual.
What happened to his brother?
Oh, we haven't gone back there yet.
Weren't they turned to stone?
Yes, they were. That is what we are going to resolve right now before we get into epilogue stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, with that, you guys do take a long rest out in the midst of this empty forest now, and you all kind of wake up depending on when you normally wake up. Some of you would, I assume, would wake up more toward the crack of dawn. Some of you would wake up a little bit later, but the day is yours.
I wake up whenever Granny raises me. Technically, I haven't been resurrected yet.
From the dead.
Yeah, we gotta awake from our eternal sleep before we can awake from our regular sleep.
Well, she brought
Yes,
you up
Kyle,
after the
Kyle,
fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I needed to rest to regain my spell slots and then raise him from the dead.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Niko, you and Kyle were just kind of chilling in the Shadelands, just being like, huh. So I guess we're here permanently now, and then all of a sudden, Kyle, you just see Niko just slowly flicker and fade out of the Shadelands, and you're like, well, I guess he's back on the material plane now.
Now, you bastard, take me with you!
And a couple hours later, you yourself find yourself back in the material plane, as Granny's raised dead magic is successful.
Rise and
The day is yours.
I don't like being dead.
Well, try not to die again.
It's weird.
As an explorer of those reaches several times over, yeah, it sucks.
All right. What do you do?
Lights up a cigar.
Well, I gotta go get my brother, right?
Yes, your brother is still turned to stone.
Yeah, I guess we should.
Along with you. Oh, yeah, along with your sister-in-law.
Oh yeah, so we collect their son and we head back the way we came.
All right. Akron is just he is very shooken up by the whole experience, and he just locks eyes onto Niko and is just refusing to leave Niko's side. And pretty soon you guys find yourself next to two elf-size statues of Niko's brother and wife.
Granny, you have
Niko's
spell
brother
slots
and his
left,
wife.
right?
Yes. I now have spells. I think
Perfect.
you said it was.
Yes, this needs
restoration?
yes, this needs a greater restoration. You need 2 of them, so if you need to burn divine intervention, you can do so.
What was that? Oh, here it is. I have it prepped. And I have 200. Well, I don't have 200 gold because I used it all on. You have 200 gold.
It's almost like
I've got 200 gold. Just
Oh, I have gold.
in the name of Sodom, resurrect them, please heal them.
Okay. Well, actually, sorry. Yeah, I can do that. So I do it.
All right. So you go and you cast Greater Restoration on both of them. As you touch the statues, they start to feel warm to the touch. As slowly but surely the stone softens and turns to living flesh. Daphere kind of coughs and he goes, "Wow, remind me, ugh, being a statue, not a pleasant experience." And he just kind of spits out some clay and he's like, "Ugh."
Hey, brother.
He kind of looks at you and goes, "Oh, Niko, I, I'm surprised. And Akron, you're both here." And he just scoops up his son and he's like, "I am so sorry. I am so sorry you got kidnapped and there was nothing I could do to stop them. But you're safe now, and I promise you I'm going to take care of you." And Akron just kind of nuzzles into his dad's shoulder.
You have quite the knack for getting into trouble, Daphere. You sure you're not my little brother?
Daphere just kind of shoots Niko a look that's like, "Hey, watch it. I'm still older than you."
So, like, I'm happy that all this is going on. Yay, reunions. But what now?
Screw you. Yeah, we can go. He gives Kyle an affectionate punch in the side.
No, I'm just like, what do we do? We did it.
We go
The
home.
world does
What else
seem
do
to
we
be
do?
at peace. Yes. Some of you might recall that there's gonna be a wedding in about 5 months from now.
Whose?
Brian's mother.
Ah. Well, I believe that I'd like to make a history check as to what the culturally appropriate wedding gift would be.
Okay. Sounds doable. Go ahead and roll history or investigation, one of those two.
Don't you dare.
Okay,
What is it?
I saw the dice roll, but it's not popping up in the chat log.
Yeah, it's bouncing real slowly on my side. Just tell me when it shows up.
Alright. Oh boy. Right. Right. So having spent some time with Brian and recalling what you know of orc culture, most orcs would prefer some sort of weapon as a present, but you also know that Brian's family is
Aha.
like is like semi-pacifist, so that might come off the wrong way if you just bought them a weapon. You're like, "Here, a marital spear." No, that wouldn't really go that well.
A marital. Okay. So a marital dagger would be fine, but a marital spear would be a little much.
Yeah.
Um. I will see what I can come up with.
All right.
I will come. I will find the appropriate wedding gift.
All right.
Okay. Cool.
Brian kind of looks at you all and he's like, I don't know if this is the right time to say this with all the reunions and stuff. But if you guys don't see me for a while, I've been experimenting with a new flavor of sludge. It's highly volatile, so I apologize for any sort of side effects that it may cause me and by extension you.
Don't you dare drink that
Aha.
sludge. Brian, you almost died last time from the sludge. Don't you dare drink a sludge that's even more volatile now.
I want Granny to experiment with her own recipes and create him like a safe sludge, something that tastes like it but is edible.
I would like to cast I'd like to do two things. First, I would like to use Mage Hands to uh take the vial of sludge from his uh, belt or wherever, and two, I'd like to put minor illusion up where so that it looks like he has the still has it. So he goes to grab it and it's not there.
Okay. Granny, go ahead and give me a check with your cook's utensils. See if you can whip up a safety potion.
And then I'll give him the recipe and he can experiment with that.
You know he ain't gonna.
Oh wait, no, that wasn't it. Sorry.
Yeah, cook's utensils right at the bottom of your sheet.
24.
24. You can easily whip up a safety batch of sludge.
Yes, I come up with a wonderful recipe that tastes just like his sludge, but is safe, and he can do what he wills with that.
He sips it and is like, not bad. It's missing kind of that explodey flavor I'm used to in my gut, but not bad.
Some alcohol or some paprika or something in it. Just please be careful.
But, yeah. So, you guys go and exit, the forest. Where are you all going?
How long is it till the wedding?
It is 5 months till the wedding.
Oh, 5 months.
Well, I guess we could just split up, do our own thing, and meet at the wedding.
Well, I need to go back to the DAMS.
Yeah, we need to go home.
Indeed.
I have certain things that I need to do.
I need to acquire a new kitten.
Let's meet at the wedding.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well,
Alright.
me and Niko are going back to the same town. Where are you going, Granny?
Where does the little kid Luke live?
The little kid lives in Winkhelm's hometown, Roo'ta'ook.
So I'm going back there. I'm gonna find a place
Okay.
to settle down.
Okay.
I'm going to the magic school for a bit.
Okay.
Well, am I going to the magic school or am I going to the other place? I'm torn. Oh boy, I've got a lot. I have a lot of stuff on my agenda.
It's up to you.
Oh boy.
Where you want to go first to get all your epilogue demands met?
You make it sound like I've got a lot to do.
You just said you had a lot to do.
I believe that I need to go to the hometown first. Then I need to go to the school.
Well, the school is in your hometown, so.
Okay, so hometown.
Yep.
And is that also where the shop was? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and the school, like hometown is where I'm going.
Yes. So Granny and Winkhelm, you are headed off to the same city. Niko and Kyle, I assume you're headed off to Cordios.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm
So,
guessing Brian's just gonna disappear off into nowhere.
Yeah. So Brian, he doesn't tamper with the sludge, but he tries to make some modifications to his cannon. He tries to make some modifications to his cannon and ends up blowing himself up, dying dramatically in the process, his body just turning to ash.
I met at Sprite.
He basically ends up. Yeah, he's gonna miss his own mother's wedding, unfortunately.
And we don't know this.
Bruh.
Nope. And yeah, cause yeah, I talked to Zach and he didn't really care that much about the wedding, so it's fine.
That's your mom, bro.
So,
Amazing.
so he blows himself up, finds himself in the Shadelands, and he's like, well, I mean, I was baptized, but I was never really confirmed. So, I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing here. And, yeah. So he sits in the Shadelands for a couple, well,
For a bit.
a couple years, if not a decade, just annoying the crap out of Delora. And then the Night Mother's just like, fine, you're good. You can go to heaven now. And he just, boop, off to Beatnos.
Wow.
And that is how Brian's story ends. Annoying the Virgin Mary so much that she's just like, fine, go see Sodom.
Huh.
Can't believe he's gonna miss his own mother's wedding. It's just so rude.
And with that, I think first I'm gonna deal with Kyle and Niko's side of the story. So, Kyle, Niko, you find yourself back in Cortios. Town is pretty much the exact same since when you left it. Not much has changed. The DAMS is seemingly much more quiet with the absence of Greg and Jeffrey. There's not as much shouting. It's much more of an actual business than people goofing off. Your boss really kind of cracked down like this needs to be an actual place of work after his sons passed away. So,
Yeah.
but other than that,
Kyle into
it's
the
up
door
to
and
you
is
what
like,
you want to do.
Boss man, you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
I see you done well with the place.
Yeah. Took me about a month or so, but I kind of did my best to clean this place up.
Well, that's very good. I guess we saved the world.
I guess you did.
I
Congratulations.
don't know how, but okay. Niko here has been. I know he signed the forms. He's completely free to go, or he's free to stay. Niko, you see him give the form over to his superior.
Ah,
Say
Yep.
anything, but he puffs up his chest.
all right. Well, Bondabar, that signature is legit. So, Niko, you are a free man. You are no longer bound by the codes of the Department of Arcane Magical Surveillance.
Well, I might like to stay, but there's someone I need to talk to first. Can I come back to you?
You can certainly come back, but it won't be me that you'll be coming back to. This is my retirement party.
Oh, well, cheers for you.
Yes, indeed.
You're taking over, right, Kyle?
I will be, but I have a matter I want to take care of first.
Will you be here? Will you be back here soon?
Well, it depends. Boss man, has there been any indications? Niko, you see him like kind of stuttering, like as if he's trying to having a hard time actually say these words. First off, I'm trying to find my actual character sheet. My backstory.
I have I have the names pulled up if you need them.
Okay, yeah. Steven. Has there been a name Steven Thematicus pop up at all?
Steven. Well, let me check my files. There is no Steven in Cordios, but there is a very prominent Steven way out west in a city called Talar.
Is he a wizard?
He is. He made quite a name for himself, too, from what I understand.
Niko, based off what I'm hearing, it sounds like my brother might still be alive. Whenever Heliana somehow popped up and survived, my brain I just been thinking about who else might have survived, and I remember my brother getting on the boat, and it sounds like he might have. So before I take roll, I'm gonna go find him. It's been hundreds of years since I've seen him.
By yourself?
I mean, if you wish to tag along, I wouldn't mind the company.
Yeah, I think you need a partner. Boss man, go ahead and put my name down. I think I'm decided.
All
I just had a
right.
moment and I was... What?
What'd you say there,
I don't
Niko?
know.
Niko?
I'm decided. I wasn't sure for a while. I was gonna go back to my parents because my parents are at home and they don't have anyone to take over the family mirror shop. But I don't want to leave this. I don't think I'd be happy there. So if you'll keep having me along, I'll keep not disappearing.
Niko, you might not be disappearing, but you'll probably go down a few more times.
Hey, I always bounce back.
Besides, I only have... He looks around as he said that. I only have about 200 years left in an office full of humans.
And they're just like, man, glad I'm retiring soon at least.
Well,
But yes, so Kyle and Niko tag along, and they go and attempt to go find his brother.
Is this gonna be a whole arc, or is this like our next adventure type deal?
We can do it pretty
As
fast.
Oh, okay.
As it turns out, you actually don't have to go very far. Because you see a communication crystal in Grimsby's room all of a sudden light up. And it's like, well, speak of your brother. Here's him calling now.
Wait, is he actually here, or is it just like a hologram?
It's just a sending message. Hang on. Yeah, he's here. He's got a friend. There is a flash of light, and Kyle, you see your brother, your little brother, maybe about 480-ish years old, and you also see your baby sister, who you have not seen since you left your old country. She has grown to be a fine young woman, also in her 400s.
So it's just a message, right? Not actual there, or they are there.
No, they actually teleported in now, both of them.
Niko, for once, ever since you met Kyle, you actually see him like tears coming off him, and Kyle just runs and just tackles them both. I thought you were dead.
Steven just kind of goes and he smiles at Kyle. Well, what can I say? Sodom's been watching out for us.
Wait, you follow Sodom?
Well, I didn't at first, out of habit of wanting to keep father's memory alive, but Once Gerda converted, it was only a matter of years before I followed suit.
Well, that was amazing. How I'm guessing father or mother didn't survive the island or the nation going up, did they?
Well, um, mother didn't. It depends on what you mean by the word survive. Mother didn't. Mother didn't make it because father killed her.
What? What do you mean?
Well, mother found the ways of Sotum, and father being a staunch Viking, that just didn't sit well with him. He tried to reason with him, but didn't go well.
That wretched fool. I know I shouldn't be talking bad about him, but I only feel bad that I left y'all. I left y'all to go on a stupid path, but as Sodom said, there's always a journey on that path. So, well, there's a lot of regrets. I'm happy I'm here, but I wish I was there to protect you from him.
Well, it wasn't very pretty. I hated using magic against my own father.
You killed him, didn't you?
No, time killed him. I didn't have to, thankfully. Just grew old and died. One of the few last survivors of Roo'ta'ook. He refused to get on the boats, and well, that's what happens.
Well,
Demons came in, and instead of fighting like a man, he went in league with them, and they offered him safety until he passed away of old age.
I see. Well, I am happy you're here, and oh, I forgot to mention, this is my work colleague, Niko. He has been tagging along with me for quite some time.
See.
Yes.
Well, good to meet you, Niko. I'm Steven. This is my sister, Gerda.
It's nice to meet you too.
How old is Gerda now? She
She is about in her mid 400s, like 440, 450.
Oh my gosh. It's like last time I saw you, you were a baby. You probably don't even know who I am, do you?
No, not really, but Steven's told me stories.
I hope they were good.
She just kind of gives Steven a grin. Spend 1 minute grinning at each other.
Oh, great. Anyway, we have lots of time to make up. I wish y'all would stay here and stay with me, and so we can actually be a family for once.
I wish I could too, but I'm needed at the DAMS in Shalar. Adrian gave me quite the position when he died.
Gosh darn it, you met him too. That bastard. Who has he not freaking met?
Be careful about giving your former PCs positions of power, Brad.
Of course he did. Well, I'm happy to see you well, and he gives him a bear hug crush.
Oh gosh, forgot how strong you were. It's alright, I can still breathe.
I forgot how weak you were, but I'm still happy you're here. Yeah, I don't know what else to do. Oh gosh, Niko.
If you ever need a break
What?
from working here, you can always come spend a vacation in Shalar.
I definitely will. I've been here for quite some time now. Niko, you can tell there is a huge age difference between Kyle and his brother. Like, there's about at least a
Your
two.
brother get frozen in time.
Yeah, they're like they're about 200-year
I mean,
difference.
yeah, it's about a 100, 200 year difference.
I mean, in an elf family, that's conceivable.
Yeah, that's true. But like the family dynamic, as you see, Niko, is Kyle is like tall. He is insanely tall and buff, while his brother is shorter and scrawny.
Well,
That's my literal brother across the table from me right now. But
it was nice. It was nice to finally meet you, big brother. But I have a little bit of a concert to plan. I'm quite the musician, if I do say so myself.
Oh, you're a bard, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Not all of us have to be nerds. And I'm giving a look to Steven.
Can you at least smash
Excuse me, this nerd just teleported you here. Show some respect, please. And she just kind of sighs, and she's like, "You know I love you."
Well, you know what, you nerds, go do your concert. I'll try to make it.
All right. Good luck with whatever dumb business suit thing you have planned. More fun being a rock star. Bye. And they teleport away.
nerds.
Nerds indeed.
All right. Anything else for your two's epilogue before we go to the wedding?
Well, I have something planned afterward, but so I guess Kyle starts taking command.
All right. You start taking command. You can't make any big like sweeping changes, but you can make like local changes to how Cordios runs its branch of the DAMS.
Yes, and the first thing he's going to change is the stupid racism in this freaking town, allowing elves and other people to be in office.
So
Kids,
you
don't be
basically
racist.
so you basically become like a pseudo politician. You're out there organizing rallies and stuff like stop the anti-elf hatred with arcane magic. We understand that most elves around here are druids, but elves can be wizards
He
too.
was, after all, a half-elf.
So
Of course, he's picking some bar fights. He's always going to be picking bar fights. Hopefully, Niko's tagging along, both getting drunk and picking fights.
Yes, Niko becomes Kyle's clone and his true heir.
awesome, like a pseudo son. I like it.
All right. Well, I think we're good. I think you good, Niko?
Yeah, I'm good.
Unless you want to
All right.
unless you want to talk to your parents and that kind of stuff.
No, he has a rather simple conversation with his parents. They're glad to see that he's back. He's glad to be back, and they're
Yep.
proud of him. He's proud of himself. They don't ask if he wants to take over the shop, and he doesn't offer.
Yeah, they
that's all
definitely
there is to
see
that.
how happy you are with Kyle, and they're just like, you know what? When we pass, the shop will close, and that's fine.
Or you can find an apprentice somewhere.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many folks in Cordios actually care about mirrors. It's not that many.
Well, it's a specialty business, but there's enough.
They
money in
do
it.
end up striking a deal with you, Kyle, though. And they actually end up finding an apprentice through the DAMS. They end up striking a deal with you, Kyle. They will make mirrors to cast the scrying spell, so that you can see better what's going on in different parts of the continent.
Oh, fancy.
To monitor things.
Fancy. A little bit intrusive, but hey, fancy nonetheless. All right.
All right, moving on. Winkhelm, can you speak? All
I
right.
can. Do you hear me?
Yes, and your background noise seems to have faded, which is good.
Oh, I had back online. Sorry.
Um, but yeah, so you and Granny both arrive in Roo'ta'ook, and unlike Cortios, Roo'ta'ook is a shell of its former self. This once great noble city where the Emperor proudly sat is now basically a ghost town with a few remnant refugees trying to pull themselves together and form a small microcosm of what they once were. It's become a very poor and destitute town now that the Emperor is gone.
Oh.
But you and Granny arrive. What are you doing, Winkhelm?
First things first, I'm going to see if I can find the elders, the genasi elders, to see who had kind of been uh in the background of my life and see if they're still around.
Okay.
And let and ask how things are going, and uh in let and talk to them about the topic I let you know about, and we'll see how that plays out.
Okay. So you go and you manage to find about 3 to 4 Genasi elders. They they are one of the few people that act as if nothing has changed. They're just going about their daily business. Um, they're trying to help rebuild the economy as much as they can. Um, but they are just kind of tentatively ruling. They kind of form a little bit of a democratic council, but there's no one central figurehead. And you come into their office or their courthouse essentially, where they're doing business. Um, and one of the elders looks up at you and he goes, "Ah, Winkhelm, we were wondering when you might return. Glad to see you're safe.
Safe is a good enough word for that. Yes, I'm back.
What can we do for you?"
Well, um, I I believe I told you some time ago after you were prodding me to get married already that I wasn't intending to get married while the emperor was around and we were all in slavery. And well, I don't think that that's the situation anymore. Um, and I'm aware that you probably want to put me on the marriage market, but I'm afraid that that's already something of a I'm afraid I've already uh found a likely situation that might have uh that has likely possibilities, and so if you have any plans for me that they might not be possible.
The
It's
Genasis just kind of the Genasis just kind of look at each other and they just start laughing. Oh, Winkhelm, the council is not one to arrange marriages. That is very much a private affair. You have nothing to fear in that regard.
oh good. I always hear, you know, rumors that's going to be what's going to happen if I don't get my act together.
That used to be the way it was when the Emperor was around. He wanted to oversee all marriages so that slaves would not marry non slaves, but that has since been lifted with his passing.
Okay. So, uh other than that, I was wondering what uh are I see that the town is in trouble. Are there what is wrong?
Well, unfortunately, some of the drow that were under the employ of the Emperor down in Maritan, the ones that were in charge of ensuring that the gem supply was flowing up here to Roo'ta'ook. They have since gone on strike and refused to work now that the Emperor is no longer within the picture.
What supply?
The gemstone supply.
Aha. Well, that's. Huh. And I'm assuming there have been negotiations of some sort?
There have been negotiations, but all of them have fallen through, unfortunately. We are going to try again here next week. The the priestess of the Revenancer finally agreed to meet with us. The high priestess, who is ruler of Maritan, finally agreed to meet with us. So we had been speaking with their deputies prior to that, and they weren't keen on doing business with someone who wasn't associated with them.
Hmm. Well, that's an interesting situation. Uh, and I'm. Are they aware that the Revenancer is no longer here with us? Okay, I guess.
I'm not quite sure how fast news travels down to the Underdark. I would assume most of the Revenancer's priestesses would know something, but perhaps they're keeping a secret in order to maintain the illusion of control.
That's their business. It
Well,
would be dreadful if there was some sort of uh, play or about what happened, and the news broke. Um, in any event, I was uh that was uh like, like that whole thread is like, do they think that they've got a that they're just.
from what we understand, they are proceeding with things as if the Motley Crew never destroyed the Revenants.
Oh, okay. They That's an interesting choice. We rescued some people who should be here by now. Um, maybe they captured or killed them, but um, and perhaps they can independently verify what we did. Um, or
You
is
know,
there a way to? Oh,
that
this is
could.
there's some really dark magic that could be used to make a copy of my memory to show what happened. That's pretty
I
forbidden magic,
would.
though. That's
I would.
pretty far into that's pretty far into forbidden magics, though.
Yes, I would advise against that. The laws of magic.
That's pretty far into forbidden stuff, though. I don't. Let's just pretend I didn't say that.
Very well. Oh, by the way, you have a friend here who's been meaning to speak with you. Um,
Oh,
the genasi goes and rings a little bell, and out comes Mesrob in just kind of this very professional-looking business suit. Kind of grins at Winkhelm. Hello there,
oh,
old friend.
hi. Uh, you were captured.
I was, yes,
I
but
didn't
now
think
as
that
you
would happen.
see, I've gotten a job here among the court, so things worked out.
So you're a court mage before I am. Well done.
Not necessarily. Uh, now that my pact with the Revenancer has been broken, I don't have any magic at all. I'm just a
So you-
secretary.
Okay. So you don't even know how what you were doing how you were doing what you were doing.
Nope. All I remember was the Revenancer was whispering in my ear, telling me to kill people, and once you guys killed her, that just stopped.
So
So,
warlock magic is useless.
at this point, the genasi you had been speaking with kind of pipes up. He's like, "Well, not necessarily. I would say it's very conditional, not necessarily useless, but it has its um.
Limited.
Yes, it's limited.
It's uh so we will have to talk about our our whole adventures and how they diverged because we're going to talk all about all that sometime.
I would, I would enjoy that. Oh, by the way, the council I should mention. May I mention this, Magister? And the genasi kind of nods. Um, we know that you want to be court mage, um, but we have something a little better in mind for you.
Oh boy. Okay.
Uh, he hands you a contract, and the contract stipulates that in addition to court mage duties, they want you to be the head of the council. And you'll still have the council to help you make decisions, but they want you to make the final decision in political matters.
I put that down. Take a few steps back, walk around, try not to uh pass out because this is a terrifying thing to even think about because that was not on my radar. Um, and then I go back and say, uh, I believe that this is. I think that I would like to do this. There are, however, some things that I want to investigate while I'm doing this. Because
Absolutely. You are free to research as much as you please as long as it does not delve into forbidden magic.
oh, I have no interest in that. That's just like the the closest thing to that is some history stuff, like about some ancient history and how some some people failed in a fight against forbidden magic. But that's like the closest thing I even want to get close to like not how to, but like that's literally the
The
closest.
the elderly genasi kind of cocks an eyebrow and he goes, "Please tell me you're not going to be repeating the arcane expansion experiment."
No, absolutely not. That sounds
Oh,
like
praise Sotum.
that's nonsense. I'm more interested in how something like how like people ancient blunders in the history of magic.
Ah, there are very few texts that would speak of magic before Sotum's incarnation, but what knowledge we do have, we would gladly be willing to share with you, Winkhelm.
Yes, that's the kind like there's a because I came across some very tiny fragments of something and I want to explore more about that because I think that it's interesting.
Very well.
Like I don't want to do what caused them to flub their intended goal, but like they were trying to fight something. I'm not entirely sure what they were fighting, and they flubbed it.
Yes. This would, from my research at least, predate the arcane expansion. Predate the incarnation of Sotum as well. From what I recall, and he kind of goes and quickly grabs a book from a nearby bookshelf. From what I recall, what they were essentially trying to do was harness the source of magic while also simultaneously attempting to bypass the Trismagnum altogether. This would have been the precursor experiment to the arcane expansion itself. Um, and as you read, this was basically the kind of like the phase 1 crash test before the arcane expansion actually was attempted. Um, they wanted to control all magic without trying to acknowledge Sodom or the spirit
So,
or the father in any sense.
ah,
And,
as
and that
I
even caused
expected.
them to
This is
fail.
this is exactly as I expected.
Indeed. Why do you think the first commandment, the first law of magic was written? It was written
N-
for that purpose.
No, this group. Mm, this group's was has its what? Oh, this group has its was is echoes of this group still exist, and they pretend not to be echoes of this group, and I am so interested that the first law of
Yes,
magic.
unfortunately, remnants of them still exist in little pockets across the planet.
Oh no, not
But
little
they are,
pockets. No.
but they are few and far between. So we
Uh,
will, we will have you leave us so that you may sort out your affairs before you begin official
yes,
political business. But
yes. Um,
thank you for
at
accepting.
the, yes, and I take this as solidification of my theory that the DAMS is uh linked inextricably to a through influence of to this.
Yes, they were basically founded as a kind of like as a response to this. Yes. So, all right.
All right.
Anything else you do before your epilogue wraps up, Winkhelm?
Um, there are two things. One is I want to look into the origins of the things I've been summoning, like where they fit in the dynamic of the unseen war between good and evil. Um, and at some point, I'd like to start courting Rena.
All right. So, you do your research on aberrations to find that these creatures um are not necessarily natural. So, like the Trismagnum, when they created the universe, they did not create aberrations. Aberrations were created through basically science instead of divine power. A bunch of drow got together, um, took some monstrosities, some beasts, added a little bit of some secret magic that they had uncovered in the Underdark, and bam, the Aboleth was born. Bam, the Beholder was born.
Ah,
They started
and
reproducing that. They started reproducing naturally on their own, but the first of their kind was not produced naturally, but via magic. The Drow are the only people you know of that have successfully created life via magic.
interesting. I'm going to take that knowledge to my negotiations. Um, and I would like to know, uh, so like, but and do they fall? Where do these entities fall in the relationship of good versus evil? Are they like intrinsically tied to evil, or do they have their own uh space in that war?
They are, from what you understand after researching, they're a lot. It depends on the type of creature. Some of them possess a high level of intelligence, so much so that one could actually consider them as having a rational soul. Others are more like beasts, and they don't have any sense of morality. They just function solely off of instinct.
Okay, and after that, I'd like to court Rena.
All right, so you end up going back to the magical tattoo shop of Rena's. She has completely rebuilt her store from the ground up since it was attacked by undead, and you kind of come in and you see her kind of cluttering around, rearranging her needles, and kind of looks up and she's like, "Oh," and she's gotten a bit more confident socially than when you last saw her. Um, she just kind of looks and she's like, "Well, I'm glad to see you made it out of the forest alive."
Yes. Uh, I'm going to be around here for a while. Uh, so how are you doing? Is the shop the shop looks like it's doing well, or is well put together?
Yeah, I mean, I've made up for my lost inventory, and profits are in the green again. So,
Uh, um, sorry, I'm stalling. My, um, I'm sorry. I don't know how to do this. uh, that oh God, I don't know what to. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a potato. I don't know. My brain is just stalling. I don't know what to say. My brain is just.
and, and that was the moment Winkhelm knew he'd faced his greatest enemy. It wasn't the Revenancer. It wasn't even an undead. It was just a normal woman.
Rude. Like, no, honestly, I have no idea. Something like that.
Uh, you can go ahead and make a persuasion check if you don't.
Ugh, that's worse. Watch me
If you can.
not win this. Watch me not win this, and she.
Well, only the dice can tell now, my friend. Go ahead, give me a
I'm
persuasion
sorry.
check.
Ugh, I'm sorry, but like my brain just fully turned off, and like
Holy crap! That's a dirty 20. So, um, yeah, that happened. And for lack of a better explanation, you just kind of hit it off. Your small talk
right.
gets a little more your small talk gets a little more serious. Um, and you end up courting her successfully. It's up to you how long you want this relationship to last. Um, but you were successful. I'll leave it at that.
Yes.
All right. Is that the end of your story for now, Winkhelm?
Yes.
All right.
Uh,
I'm gonna move on to Granny now.
Yep.
Okay, Granny, you arrive in Roo'ta'ook. Similar to as I described to Winkhelm, the place is now basically a ghost town, quite destitute, but you do find Lucas seems to have made for himself a happy little home with his foster parents. And you do arrive at their home. Lucas is very excited to see you. He just goes, "Granny," and he gives you a big hug.
Oh, yes, and I have cookies for him. But this town seems like the perfect place for me to settle down and help it regrow, help the people. So that's what Granny's gonna do. She's gonna find herself a little house. She's gonna start helping people rebuild, visiting hospitals, all that. She's gonna find plenty of kittens. She's going to mentor Lucas as he grows, and she's going to live out her life the rest of her 50 years here in this town.
All right. I I just imagine like Granny opening like a cat cafe, but it's a bakery just filled with cats.
That sounds like a great idea. I'm gonna do it. It's also gonna be like a little pharmacy thing too.
Mm-hmm. It's half pharmacy, half bakery, half coffee shop. It's great.
Yes.
All right. And Lucas grows up to be a fine young man. But with that all out of the way, it is time to fast forward a little bit as the party regroups for the wedding of Brian's mother, Lagha. So 5 months have passed. It is now a bright day, early spring, I'd say about early April. And you all gather for Lagha's wedding.
Hey, where's the little midget at?
Sorry, I just stepped away for 2 seconds to close the blinds. I think I missed a lot in those 2 seconds.
I just we arrived at the wedding and Kyle said, "Hey, where's the midget at?"
The midget.
Yeah,
Brian?
yes, you do see that Brian is nowhere to be found. Perhaps he's asleep. Perhaps he's just not coming. You don't know.
Granny, Wikhelm, good to see you all again.
Good to see you.
She has like
I'm gonna hand.
two kittens sitting on her shoulders now.
I'm gonna hand the poison dagger to oh boy to Niko or Kyle. I'm not sure which one. And say, I think it would be wonderful if you were to present this to Brian's mother as a gift to from all of us.
It's a lovely idea.
Go for it, Niko, and he kind of slaps you in the back, kind of shoves you forward.
Dude, what now?
Yeah, you got it, buddy. Have fun.
As a wedding gift.
A wedding gift.
Yes.
This is only a few months later, right?
Yes,
Yes.
5 months.
Okay.
Yeah,
Niko very hesitantly steps forward to receive the gift.
This is the wedding gift.
Yeah.
It's a poison dagger.
Rena kind of nudges you, Winkhelm. I don't know why you didn't hand that to them yourself, but it's lovely to see you all again.
Ah, hello.
I hope those tattoos have been serving you well, Kyle, Niko.
Oh, yeah, they have. They've been serving great. Completely forgot that you just said tattoo at a game.
I didn't forget. There never was the precise need, but I certainly was glad to have it.
Oh yeah,
It was very handy just in case.
I see y'all two are dating.
Yes.
Ah.
It's a very interesting date taking someone to someone else's wedding. It's something. It's almost like we're planning something and doing intelligence work.
Or you're getting ideas for your own wedding.
Exactly what I said.
Well,
Rena just immediately turns a dark shade of green.
wait, green?
Yeah, she's an Earth Genasi.
Oh. These are brown and gray.
Racist.
Oh, well, it's just how I thought it was genasi. Yeah, they were
I
cute.
thought about that, but I've decided that Earth Genasi are green. The Water Genasi are more teal. Usually they're greenish blue, but they're more teal in my setting.
Okay, makes sense.
She just kind of nudges Winkhelm. Well, shall we go in and find ourselves a seat?
But where's
Yeah.
Brian? Little runt was supposed to be
No.
here.
Yeah, I
Oh,
heard
you're not-
Lagha was all excited about making him their ring bearer.
I would have asked him to hand it, give it to, but it's most proper for someone who is unattached to give a gift if it's from a group.
Maybe he'll show up. He's drinking his sludge again.
Lagha runs up to you all in a beautiful white gown. She's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you all could come. Thank you so much for coming." She gives you all hugs. It's a
Really
shame,
look
Brian.
lovely.
Thank you. It's a shame Brian couldn't be here.
No.
Where is that little runt?
He died 5 months ago.
What?
We
was-
just saw. We haven't seen him in 5 months. Like, did he?
He was messing around with that cannon of his, and he kind of bit off more than he could chew this time.
Oh dearie, I'm so sorry.
I am saddened but not surprised.
Same.
She kind of looks at Niko, and she's like, "Unfortunately, he did not have your dexterity, Niko."
Or a few other qualities.
Hey.
He was trying to fiddle with the self-destruct button, and yeah, he's no longer with us, unfortunately. But it's still a great
Why
day
did
for a
you
wedding.
design a self-destruct button? I don't have a good Doofenshmirtz expression, but that would be what is called for here.
Still a lovely day for a wedding. Thank you all for coming. And
No.
she kind of goes back to get ready. She's like, by the way, if I couldn't trouble one of you to be my ring bearer,
Not it.
that would be great.
Nose goes.
Nope. sorry.
I can do it.
All right, thank you, Winkhelm.
Granny's
And,
too busy with her cake that she made for the occasion.
Couldn't Granny theoretically official the wedding?
No.
I mean, she could. She's a cleric, but they've already got an orc cleric to officiate the wedding. And it's a lovely wedding. There are many orcs in attendance, some humans, some elves. And the party is just absolutely fantastic. The wedding reception. There's a bunch of dancing. A cute little elven girl about Niko's age, just kind of in the middle of the dance floor. She kind of extends her hand and she's like, "You want to dance?"
Niko shoots her a dagger of a glare.
My bad. And she relinquishes her arm and just goes back to dancing.
You no, go out there, Nick. He kind of like a little pat. No, he just kind of like just shoves Niko towards her, like, go have fun. Stop. I don't want you to be as grumpy as me when you get my age. Have fun.
Roll athletics. I can resist your shove.
Oh, all right.
Granny Granny's gonna help him.
Let's go, boy.
Wait. Okay.
Oh,
so
no,
Granny's
she-
gonna. If
Screw you with that nat
Granny's
20.
gonna- if Granny's gonna help, then Kyle has advantage. But
I don't think it's gonna help. He just.
You have to roll a nat 20 to beat me.
Try to persuade him.
Your nat 20 would be higher than mine, so you'd beat me, but
No.
Yeah,
Technically
no.
we tie,
No.
but you roll that 20.
you can push again.
Niko
See
is
what
a very
happens.
But I'm gonna push again.
Niko is a very stubborn teenager, and he remains firmly planted.
Silvery barbs.
Well,
No, are you even paying attention? No. Niko is going to grapple Kyle and start wrestling and start fighting at the wedding.
You wanna go, you little.
Lagha
Okay,
just
Granny's
went-
gonna immediately break this up and be like, boys, behave yourself. Do you know where you are? Come on.
A wedding?
Yes, please don't make this embarrassing for the couple.
Hey, orc, do y'all pick fights at weddings?
That was kind of a pagan thing. We're much more civilized now.
See, even the orcs are more civilized than you, Kyle.
Who wants to fight?
Well, there's a drunken
Anyone?
orc in the back. There's a drunken orc in the back of the room. I'll fight.
Fine.
Lagha just shoots him a look, and she's like, "Brother, this is not the time nor the place." And he's just like, "Fine."
Kyle, let's go, Niko. Just learn to live
Yeah, let's
life
get outta here.
and don't be grumpy like I am.
No, I refuse to date in roleplay.
That is completely fair.
I tried. I'm so bad at it. Oh, it's awful.
It's being played by Adam. I don't want to date Adam. It's kind of a rule.
That makes
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Fine. Kyle brushes himself up and is like, fine. Granny,
And,
would it ever be your permission? May I have a drink?
I guess.
Me too.
But have a
All
cookie
right.
first.
Oh my gosh.
Go
Sure.
ahead and give me con saves because the orcs make their drinks very strong.
Yeah, seems about right.
Yep.
We got our night a little out of order. We fought and then drunk ourselves under the table.
Kyle's
Oh wait,
still
no,
up.
you're fine, Kyle.
Kyle's still up.
Kyle actually holds it down, but Niko is just drunk out of his mind.
Isn't this the second time this has happened?
Oh yeah. There's
mean,
nothing
I'm not-
better to do except wedding drink. That's literally all you do at weddings.
I mean,
No.
to be fair, a nat 1 would have resulted in puke over the nearest guest, so at least you didn't roll nat 1.
Puke on a bride. Puke on a bride.
I mean,
Sorry.
theoretically, you might catch up
Please
with family
don't
at a
me
wedding.
Again.
All right.
Well, if it's not anyone in your family, if you're just there.
So
I guess,
Kyle,
yeah.
Kyle holds down his liquor, but Niko is very, very drunk for the rest of the evening. And with that, as we begin to close out the epilogue, if there's anything you guys want to say to each other now in character, please do so.
I will
I'm
say.
going to.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say to Niko and Kyle that I'm going to keep a very careful eye on the DAMS because I know all about the progenitor organization and the its involvement in what originally happened.
Okay, Wikhelm, this is about to be a problem between me and you. You're dissing my organization. Understand this. This is not a secret. Most people knows what happened in the past. It's not a secret. No one, the DA, this, the DAMS doesn't even deny it because it was a try. They tried it and it failed, and they reorganized, and they a different faction tried to prevent that from happening. I don't know why you're so against our organization. That's actually for the good. Like, if you keep at this, like, I will force my hand and throw you in arrest.
Okay.
There's a moment from the bread pink that applies here. You might have
Hey,
to censor this because,
hold
bro, I swear I'm gonna fucking Yeezys if you trying to fight. We about to fight.
on. How long was the DMS installed?
How long ago was the DMS installed?
Yeah, how many years have it been?
Let me check my notes.
But no, like Kyle didn't say that as like a threatening manner, but he's just like, you're picking up the wrong fight, barking up the wrong tree, man. There's nothing wrong with the DAMS. There's few bad apples. I get that, but there's nothing bad. There's it serves a good purpose.
I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying that the organization that it takes its cues from was
But literally everyone knows that. It's part of its history.
yes, but it's acting as if it's saying, "Oh, it was our history. It was that was them. That was." But they're not. You're acting as if that it's. You're trying to have your cake and eat it too, saying, "Oh, that was then. That was our history then," but not act as if that influence isn't influencing you in the way you think and the way you do things. And I'm just going to
Yeah.
keep an eye on you to make sure that you don't do anything foolish.
So the DAMS at this point would have been started around like 300 years.
Oh, so me and Kyle were both there when it started.
Yeah,
Yes.
So we literally know the history of it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. This is why, like,
And I'm talking about the ancient history, of the proto version.
again, we were there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. You definitely weren't there for the first
Oh, okay.
organization. Yes.
We're talking at cross purposes at this point. I'm talking about the ancient version that that ended in disaster and which was used as a template for this one. And that's the template that
was it a temp
influence
add-on?
I thought it was a fail. Like, oh, look, that group messed up. We should then be like them. Let's do the opposite. Let's actually do better.
Okay, just to kind of settle this debate once and for all, because this has raged for quite a while within this campaign, and I don't want any sore feelings, so I'm just gonna set the record straight here. There was an organization like thousands of years ago, even before Sotum, that tried to do what the DAMS did. They got some corrupt leadership, which led to the big explosion that created all the talking animals or whatever. And then after Sotum died, then the DAMS was founded. So yes, what Winkhelm is alluding to was like, hey, there was an organization similar to you guys, like back 1,000 years ago, and they did some bad stuff. And I don't want you guys repeating the same mistake just because you guys are around for a similar purpose. So, that is my final word on the matter as DM.
Got it.
But yes, anything else you guys wish to say to other party members in character before the Motley Crew officially disbands and we go toward the end of the epilogue?
Um, Nothing in particular.
Granny,
All
you're
right.
not looking. You're pretty old, Granny.
Yes, well, you come by and visit me a few more times. I probably won't be around much longer.
Maybe I'll see if I can have you do the wedding. That would be nice.
I would be honored. And I will be staying in Roo'ta'ook, which is where you are, so we'll be seeing each other.
Yeah, that would be convenient.
Okay. So as we wrap up the epilogue here, whoever wants to narrate a death scene can do so, but it's completely optional. So, Granny, you're the eldest. You want a death narration?
Do I have to narrate it?
You can narrate it. I can narrate it. We can go back and forth. You can.
I'd rather you do it.
All right. So. So you spend the rest of your days going and helping rebuild the culture of Roo'ta'ook with your healing and your cookies and your cats. You also become a little bit of like a psychologist in a sense. People come to you for goodies, but they also come to you with emotional problems. And you, being the grandmotherly figure that you are, you just kind of help in more ways than one. Lucas grows up into a fine young man. He ends up having a bit of trouble adjusting to life as a free man, as his family were formerly slaves. Things are a little awkward for him in the teenage stage, because not only is he dealing with puberty, he's also dealing with the complications of his sorcerer magic. You kind of help him through that. And you can become like a pseudo grandmother to him, which he's very appreciative of. He loves his foster parents, but it is very clear that you are number one to him outside of everyone else.
Yay.
You actually, because elven lifespans are so much longer compared to human lifespans, by the time you die, Granny, he is actually about ready to like retire. He's looking to start being an old man himself because he's in like his early 60s by the time you die. So you two are kind of you two are kind of elderly together, and he kind of sits by your bedside as you lay dying, just kind of stroking your hand.
Aw.
Um, and you peacefully pass from this mortal plane, and so you see the face of Sotum and Delora. Sotum goes, "Welcome home, my child. You have done well." And you see your husband and your daughter. Your daughter actually looks a lot older than she did when she died, due to the theory that some theologians have that when we die, we'll actually look like we did when we were 30. So she actually looks to be about a 30-year-old elf, um, instead of like the 10-year-old you once knew. But you end up spending all of eternity within Beatnos. And you die peacefully and you pass on into the afterlife with much joy and rejoicing.
That's
Oh.
wonderful.
Anyone else?
I got stuff planned for Kyle.
All right. What have you got planned for Kyle, Bryce?
All right. So Kyle works for the DAMS for about, let's say, he's what, 500? I would say he works for the DAMS for about another 100 years or so. He's gonna get a small cabin nearby, like not too bad, but kind of like inside town, but not too far. Has a little porch and everything on it. And at the moment he takes over, he's gonna have a brewing whiskey. He's gonna have a whiskey that's been brewing, and then once like a keg, a casket or not a casket, a keg, yeah. And after he hits the age of 600, he retires. And
Mhm.
I would say, yeah, 600 actually about kind of like how Granny, either 100 or 50 years left of his life, he retires,
Mm.
either deciding to leave it in charge of Niko if he accepts it. If Niko doesn't, he takes it, he gives it to whoever is in charge, his brother or his sister, or whoever wants to inherit it next along that line. And Kyle, at the last 50 years, will every single day sit on his front porch drinking that aged whiskey that's been aging for 150 years and lighting a cigar every single time. And he always has a glass. He has a glass just for Niko and a cigar for him if he ever drops by.
All right.
And
I
then,
will take over.
go ahead.
I will take over a little bit of the narration here because Niko, your backstory and Kyle's is kind of interconnected. So Niko,
Yeah,
although
mine
you
is tying in.
Mm-hmm.
although you do not physically appear any older, as the years go by, Kyle, you come and celebrate with Niko on his 100th birthday, finally acknowledging that in the eyes of the elves, he is indeed finally an adult.
Yes.
And then about 70 years after that, Niko, you who have seen Kyle be this strapping young man, looks like he could shrug off all sorts of injuries without breaking a sweat. One day, about 70 years after your 100th birthday, um, you see that he finally looks elderly. His hair is completely gray with splotches of white, and there are just wrinkles all around his face and eyes. The eyes start finally sagging. He finally looks like a proper old man after a while, as the magic of aging finally sets in for this elf.
Yes. And
That's
go ahead.
That's all I wanted to add there.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, and so like every single day, Kyle will be getting us like one drink or two in the evening, just looking around, the DAMS office where Niko, if he takes it, works then, and then one day, Niko will appear to his house, and Kyle will be sitting there in his chair with a glass in his hand and a half smoked cigar, and Kyle is slumped over.
He's passed peacefully on. So does Kyle, when he leaves the DAMS, offer the position to Niko?
Yes, he does, if Niko accepts it.
Niko does accept. He takes over the department and lives out his days in Cordiales. Maybe one day he moves on to bigger and better things in the DAMS. That is up in the air. But he always finds time to visit back with Kyle between adventures.
Mm. But yes, you
Finds
find
him final times, like finally kick the bucket, old elf. And he stands there,
you see
kind of outside the porch. What's that?
I was saying, like, and you see beside him, you see one more glass and one more cigar waiting just for you.
Oh man, Niko goes onto the porch, and he enjoys the cigar with the still dead Kyle in the other chair, and enjoys one last cigar with him. So at this point, he's an old hack at cigars. He no longer chokes on his cigars, but he enjoys them nice and slow.
All right.
Doesn't need to say anything, and then he begins to call people to have Kyle properly buried.
All right. Yeah. So at this point, Granny would have already been dead, so Granny won't bury him, unfortunately. But an elf does come.
She'll meet him. She'll meet him in heaven. Like,
Yes.
he finally made it.
Yes, yes. You two finally meet in heaven, looking much, and for once, Granny looks much younger than she did when you met her, Kyle. But you two do finally meet in heaven.
Oh, that's what you look like, young. Rather cute.
Oh.
All right. Carbite, is there anything else for Niko's epilogue, or is that it?
No, I mean, if he pops up in a later story, maybe, but I'm satisfied.
All right. And last but not least, Winkhelm. What happens
Winkhelm.
after?
Well, Winkhelm is going to stay as head of the council for uh, as long as is appropriate, and then he's going to continue his education as in the wizarding school for until he's feels that he's reached a appropriate level. Then he's going to go uh, and wander the world for a bit and teleport home, teleport back and forth, and see and get interesting goodies for his wife's shop, and uh, and he's going to one of those days it's not going to turn out well, and because you can only be lucky so many times. And just because you're really good and really uh, competent doesn't mean you're gonna get away scot free the however manyth time. Can't get away with it every time. And uh, I'm not entirely sure what he would fall to, but it would probably be something interesting.
Oh, okay. So he actually dies in combat. Okay.
Yes, he goes during this time he's writing a book on bladesinger tactics, like in his in his downtime. And so somewhere out there is a is his treatise on bladesinger tactics, uh, next to his body.
All right.
So uh, some something killed him somewhere, and uh, and on his body is his treatise on bladesinger tactics,
All right.
which didn't really succeed because he's dead.
Yep. And so thus the story of the Motley Crew comes to a close. Once 5 prisoners of the Drow, some bound together by being co-workers, the rest of you kind of simply bound by fate. The record of your adventures we placed in the history books in the centuries to come. You lived your lives, and all of Veride remembers the bravery, the camaraderie, and in Brian's case especially, the stupidity of the Motley Crew. And that is how I'm going to end the campaign.
Amen.
All right.
A very satisfied ending.
Very good job.
Thank you so much, Adam.
Yeah, thank you.
This was great.
Yep.
Thanks for letting us play in your world.
Yeah. Second time around, guys. Third time around is gonna be just as great.
Oh man, it's gonna be amazing.
But
Bring
that
all
will
those
start for
third
a
party,
long time.
yeah, all those third party classes you've been posting. It's funny is the pugilist is the class I needed for this campaign. Truthfully.
That's actually what I'm playing in a different campaign right now. I'm playing the pugilist.
Oh really?
Yes.
So yeah,
This is the first. This is the first time I've ever played a wizard.
Nice. Are we able
Yeah.
to get some of the details of this, or are they like kind of copyrighted and you're hesitant to share them?
So what it is I started posting like the class features because next campaign. Oh, Bryce, you can shut off the recording if you
Oh,
haven't already.
yes.
Next campaign